people who just up and left one day and started a new life. What was your experience like? I did this a year and a half ago. Best thing I've ever done. Moved from Western New York to Arizona. It was tough at first with trying to get on my feet, and when I did, the pandemic started. But it's easier to do than most people think. I believe most people don't do it because of the unknown and scared of change. For me, I'm happier than I've ever been. I have a really good paying job. The best paying job I've ever had actually. And the first job I've ever had that I enjoy going to. I'm 34, so that's saying something. And to live where I live, views of mountains, beautiful weather, it's just a dream come true. A year ago me and my partner were addicted to drugs, living in a little room, depressed with no motivation, so we just up and left. Today we are in our own place in the country with steady jobs, and I have never been happier. 4 years ago, I abruptly quit a job I had worked for 7.5 years that I finally had to admit was a dead end. I got a job at a lodge in a national park flipping burgers for minimum wage. I didn't know a single person there when I moved. But it quickly led to traveling to amazing places like Alaska and making lots of friends from all over the world. The experience gave me the confidence to really pursue my career goals, and last year I finally got my dream job. Nothing good happens in your comfort zone. I did this last year. Granted, I stayed in the same state. It was terrifying and exciting all rolled into one. I quit my job without having another one. Sold my house without having a home. Packed everything my son and I owned and moved 3 hours away. Best decision ever. It made me feel like I could do it again if I ever wanted to. The world is so big, so it was empowering. Edit. I grew up in the country, lived in the same county for 31 years, and moved to the city. 3 hours away may not seem like much, but it was a huge change. I did this 3 months back, shifted from Delhi, my hometown, where I lived with my parents and brother, to Bangalore. I had been depressed for the last 3 years. Worked in a very unsatisfactory job and did almost no work. Then in March this year had a manic episode of bipolar I, where I spent all my savings on useless stuff, almost got married to a woman I barely knew, and quit my job. I was jobless with no money, and having panic attacks every day remembering the shit I did and said when I was manic. Also thanks to COVID every problem became 10x. I was suicidal most of the time. Months later I did get a job, but the pay was meager. One fine day, 8 months later, I fought with my brother, and I had had enough. So later that night packed some of my stuff, and booked my flight to Bangalore, and quit my job. After 2 months of struggle I got a new job with almost thrice the income. Rented my own 2 BHK flat all for myself. Threw all my old clothes, and got new ones. Started 3 other things. Started learning boxing, and lots more. All my friends live nearby, and best of all I live in the best area probably in all of India. Everything is so much better that sometimes I think it is all in my head, and I am actually in coma from a suicide attempt. Tell me this is real. I'd how it will work for others, but I think it is worth a shot. Edit asterisk. Thanks a lot for all the love, it really made my day asterisk. There is a lot of concern of this being a sign of me being manic again. Some people with bipolar/know someone with bipolar are asking me how I know this is not mania. These are the steps I am taking, hopefully it helps someone. I have a 12-point scale that I rate myself every day on. 0 is utterly suicidal, 1-2 is dark depression, 3 is mild depression, 4 is low mood, 5-6 is stable, 7-8 is high energy, caution, 9-10 is hypomania, 11-12 is paranoid mania. When I came to Bangalore on an impulse I was 4 then 5-6 and hovered at 7-8 and sometimes 9. I take regular therapy sessions, at least 4 times a month from a clinical psychologist trained in dealing with bipolar. She regularly accesses and checks signs of mania/depression. Whenever I reach 8/9 on the 12-point scale I contact my psychiatrist to make sure I don't climb higher. He prescribes olanzapine, anti-mania drug, as SOS. He initially told me to take it every day, but that drug fucks up my emotions/energy, so I tightly monitor my mood and take it SOS in consultation with him. I have an impulse control rule. Whenever something sounds impulsive/too good, I first talk about it with friends and family to check if I am not crazy again, then set a time duration after which I can act on the impulse. I am prescribed one med, and I take that every day without fail whatsoever happens. Also, I refrain from drugs. I always wanted to do LSD, etc., but I won't ever, because that instantly triggers mania in lot of people. So I am trying my best not to go manic/in depression again. Let's hope it works. Asterisk. Best of luck to all bipolar people out there. Much love. There is a silver lining. Trust me. 3 years ago I moved from London, UK to Alberta, Canada. Best decision of my life. London is a very lonely city, especially when you're introverted. I never made any real close friends, and it's so insanely expensive that even with a great job I didn't have much money left to go out and enjoy life. And I lived in a small, awful shared apartment, where the only space to myself was a probably 20 SQFT room, or smaller. It is an amazing city, but it didn't work for me. Since being in Alberta I've made some close friends, and met the love of my life. I finally have savings, and a realistic prospect of buying a house one day. I live in a huge, 2-bedroom apartment by myself. I live near the Rockies, so I do a good amount of hiking. I've been tubing and ice skating with friends. Pre-COVID I started going to a new gym, and on the first session had people saying hi. Probably could have been friends if COVID hadn't hit. Not to mention it's so sunny. The cold is extreme, but I will never miss the grey and rain of England. I moved here with a 2-week Airbnb reservation to survive off, and no real plan, no jobs prospects. Just the knowledge I could book a flight home if needed. Somehow it all ended up working out. Edit. I'm stupid, and was tired when I wrote this, so I estimated the size of my room in London, then added, instead of multiplying. The room was probably more like 70 SQFT. I came here through IEC, which is a reciprocal working holiday program for young people that many countries participate in. The US doesn't participate. This post was very black and white. London is really amazing. I had a lot of great times there. I do miss a lot, but ultimately it wasn't for me. Alberta has its issues, as everywhere does, and the economy is struggling with the oil stuff. Canada isn't some utopia. I have happened to make a good life for myself here, and I personally love it. But no hate on the UK, it'll always be my home, and I really miss roundabouts. Sold everything, and got on a Greyhound with my 2 little kids, and went across country to a big city I had visited once and loved. We've been here 11 years now. Have never regretted making this our home. It was very hard. We have struggled so much. But the decent life we have now made it worthwhile. I'm about to do this on Friday with only a suitcase cause I've been fired, and homelessness is coming. Any suggestions on where to go? Well, I'd give this counts as starting a new life, but when I was a young teen my single, disabled mother, me, and my little sister was living in a toxic house with someone while we were down on our luck. I mean the people we stayed with would lock us out constantly, then scream at us when we knocked to come in, talk the bathrooms, and try to bargain on us so we had to all go together, and go to sleep at like 7 p.m, and expect it to be silent after that. It was so bad that my mother finally decided she would rather be homeless than have to deal with that toxic place. So, in the middle of the night we slipped the AC out the window, and snuck out the window, and never looked bad. The 2 years that passed after that weren't much better. We slept in our car, and had to bathe at the beach. It was hard working every day, and hiding we were homeless. But we finally got a place last year that we're all so thankful for. For anyone that is in an abusive, toxic household thinking of leaving, but too afraid to do it. It won't be easy at first, but stay strong, and keep faith, and never give up. Good things will eventually come out of it. It's worth the struggle to have peace, mentally and emotionally. Edit. Specified my age better lol. Also, thanks for all the upvotes and awards. I hope this gives someone in a rough situation the courage to seek better things. Good luck to everyone.